So for all these reasons, I thank UNAM and I thank FICUNAM. But I also want to thank truly Miguel, because it's every time I have the occasion to meet with him, I should say that it's extremely rewarding. I'm always impressed and honored to be able to talk with him. And I have to say that for me, Miguel Gomes is one of the very, very few contemporary filmmaker that counts. I mean, his voice appeared with shorts to start with, and strongly with the Face You Deserve, and even stronger later on with this dear month of August. Thank you. And I think there's something. How should I put it? It's in a way very difficult to speak about Miguel Gomes' works for several reasons. One of them is I think they are like clouds. There are many clouds in his films, and clouds that are not there to give to be a weather report or to be not any kind of report. But on the contrary, sometimes to draw figures. You might remember that in Taboo, the romantic couple is gazing at clouds, and suddenly you have, for instance, a crocodile or a face drawn upon the clouds. But most of the time, these clouds are not designing a perfect figure, or they dissolve. In the catalog, Roger Cozza, which I strongly invite you to read on the presentation of this retrospective, writes something I think extremely important, is that in Miguel Gomes' films what is very striking is the transitions. And I also think that Roger underlined something very important there, because Miguel is doing something in or with passage, transition, and I think one of the reasons of this might be that very surprisingly, in a completely non-modernist way, Miguel tries to think the world is more important than his own signature. So it's very hard, precisely like a cloud, to be able to draw a map that would be called Miguel Gomes' country. And also I think he's in a true way, and both in a dandy way, quickly bored. And so you might have noticed, of course, that he's bored even with his own films, because most of the time, in the middle of the film, he switches and goes to do something else. A totally different story, a totally different style. And maybe that's one of the explanation of the fact that the 1001 Nights he was attracted to that, but also he didn't only do one film, but 3 films. So Miguel, I really, and something else I wanted to say before, of course, having him talk, and I know he's talking very generously, and I'm also very surprised every time I hear him, because since his film premiered in Cannes, I think he didn't stop traveling with the trilogy in so many countries all around the world, and being so patient with questions and giving very, very generous answers. But what I wanted to say was something very, very powerful for me, which is precisely anti-power, which is the fact that the principle of authority or authorships, these 2 notions are in a subtle, complex link. Well, I think Miguel might be one of the, again, and I really insist on that, very, very few, maybe 2 or 3 filmmakers I could think of completely refusing the status of the artist, the maker, the father, let's say.